What's going on, you guys? So today we're going to be talking about the definition of winning, the definition of success. How do you define success? What does winning mean to you? So many of us have heard various different definitions of success and winning, but today I'm going to challenge your definition of success. And you can see, based on the way that I define it, are you experiencing success? Are you experiencing winning? And as always, it's probably not going to be the most traditional and conventional way of how success or winning has been defined. But that's why I'm here, is to challenge you. So this is what we're going to be talking about today on Elite Performance Podcast with Dr. Brad. And as always, I am Dr. Brad, your peak performance coach for men, and I help high achieving men gain clarity and confidence and consistency so that you can succeed in what you do for your career or business without sacrificing your fitness, family, and faith. We're going to be diving in today. As always, I'm going to be providing as much value as I possibly can based on the experiences that I've had in my life and the experiences that I've had of working with other high achieving, successful men and helping them reach their goals and crush it in their fitness, family, faith, and live a both successful and fulfilled life. But when we talk about that successful part, we got to define what that thing means. We have to define it. So before I get started, make sure you share this episode with somebody. I'm just telling you, it's going to bless you. You already know it. You already know I'm going to bless you today. So make sure you share this episode. If you're watching live, look, I apologize in advance. We just having some challenges when it comes to the internet. We live in a place in Dallas where it's growing, and I don't know if there's just not enough, I don't know how the internet works, but it's been terrible. So forgive me if it seems choppy. Forgive me if it seems as though like I'm going in and out on the video. The audio has never been affected. So if you listen to me on audio, listen, you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's coming in crystal clear. But again, I apologize. But make sure you share this, whether you're watching this live or whether you're listening to this. Share this with another brother who can get tremendous amount of value when it comes to talking about success, when it comes to talking about winning, because here's the reality. Not all success is healthy. Not all winning is worth it. And so you're probably wondering, how did I even get to this topic? Well, usually I share my life experiences with you guys in terms of what's happening to me on a weekly basis. And so as recent as yesterday, I had a meeting with a good friend of mine. I don't even want to call it a meeting. It was a get together. We had seen each other at an event. I hadn't seen this person in a long time. And I was like, yo, D, like we got to get together, man. Like it's been a minute. Like we really got to, sit down and catch up. He was like, man, I agree. And so we scheduled it for yesterday. We sat down at a Starbucks and we just started chopping it up, and it was just good to catch up with him. But one of the questions that he asked me, he said, what does winning mean to you? In essence, how do you define success? Because I was kind of telling him a little bit about what's happened since the last time I had seen him up till now. And he's followed some stuff on social media, but I was telling him, I was like, the reason why I even do what I do on social media and podcasts is because I was the person who I didn't want to be, and things kind of changed. And then that word success and winning came up. He kind of stopped me. He said, well, B, like, how do you define winning? Like, what does winning mean to you? And it made me stop and think about that answer. And so the challenge is we all want to win. We all want to win at a high level. Again, if you're listening to this podcast, you want to win in everything. You want to win in the financial area. You want to win in the fitness area. You want to win in the family life. You want to win in all those areas. No matter where you are now, you probably want those things to advance and grow and change and maybe even break through depending on where you are right now. And so, but how do we know whether we're winning, right? How do we know whether we're really winning or not? And a lot of that will be based on how you define success, how you perceive success, how you perceive winning. And, you know, Webster's dictionary definition, I didn't look it up, but I've got to assume it's got to be something like success is an achievement of a goal, right? I mean, that's just probably the most simple definition, is that when you succeed at something, it means that there's an accomplishment of a goal. But not all accomplishment is good, right? Not all success is sustainable. Not all success is sustainable. For example, you'll witness this in fitness sometimes. I remember my wife and I, we used to watch The Biggest Loser, which, if you don't know what that show is, it's a reality show about people who are overweight, and they get connected with a trainer, and they have to do like these weekly events to lose weight over time. And a lot of these people, I've noticed, they lose a lot of weight, and they're moving and working out more than they ever had, dieting, at least for them, what seems to be an extreme level. But it's not uncommon that a lot of those people will fall back into old habits, and the success that they had during the show, losing 100 pounds. I mean, there's people who've lost like more than 100 pounds, like, you know, like at a very fast pace. They have these big goals that they've achieved, right? So achievement of a goal, but it's not sustainable. They'll go back, you know, they'll gain all the weight back. Some gain most of the weight back. So not all success is sustainable. Not all success is healthy. Let me get into that in a little bit. Like, I've succeeded at things, but it wasn't healthy success. Again, I'm going to break down what I believe is healthy success. What I believe is where winning is worth it, right? Not all winning is worth it. I mean, you look at big companies like Enron, right? They were winning at one point. If you don't know what happened with Enron, just Google Enron and scam, and you'll see what happened back. Is Enron's oil or energy company, and they started doing some foul things, and like things blew up. At some point, these guys were winning. Guys and gals were winning, making a lot of money, but it wasn't worth it, right? I know some physicians here in the area who, unfortunately, you know, made some poor decisions to make a lot of money. And at the end, some of these physicians ended up being guilty of fraud. And so some of them are in jail. They were winning, but was it worth it? Right? And then the other thing is, you can be winning and losing at the same time. You say, well, what are you talking about? You can be winning and losing at the same time. For example, there's countless numbers of times when I've won an argument, and the goal was to win the argument. So I won the argument, but I really lost the battle, because I won the argument with my wife. But now, because I was really trying to make a point home, because I needed to feel good about myself to be right. Yes, I was right, won the argument, lost the battle, right? Me and the wife not doing good now, right? You know, I might be playing my son in a game, and I'm so competitive that I win the game. I win the match. But I may do it in such a way that, you know, he really feels defeated. And so now I gotta pick up the pieces of what I've done because I had to win. See, there's times when I've won in my life, but it came at a cost. So I'm winning at work, but I'm losing in life. So is that really winning? Is that really succeeding? You know, at one time, it was the most money I was ever making in terms of building my practice, working in the ER, running a home-based business. As a matter of fact, me and my friend, the one that I was sitting down with, the reason why we hadn't sat down in so long is because in the past, when I was running my home-based business, it was all about me getting results and winning. And I won at the cost of the relationship between he and I. Had some choice words that I told him because I didn't think that, you know, he didn't do what I would like for him to do when it came from my business. You know, so if he didn't buy, or if he didn't support, whatever the case may be, right? And I was winning, I was doing well, but it came at the cost of that relationship, at least for a little while, right? Me winning at that time came at the cost of my family life. It came at the cost of my fitness. It came at the cost of my faith. So was I really winning? Was that really success? See, most of us, we define success by several different M's, starting with the letter M. We define success oftentimes by material things, by the cars, the home, the toys. We'll define our success by the amount or the quality of material stuff we have. If I got the new shoes, if I've got the rollie on the wrist, if I've got whatever the case may be, we'll define it by the material, or we can define it by the money. We define success by money, how much money someone's made. We define success by media, social media. Somebody's winning, somebody's shining, somebody's doing well, going on trips, doing their thing. And we define it by merit, meaning the titles that we get when we achieve a goal. My title being doctor, your title being whatever it is you do for a living, right? It's one of the first questions we ask people. Oh, well, what do you do? Part of what you're trying to do, part of what other people are trying to do is kind of size you up. How successful is this dude? What does he do? Right? We constantly trying to compare. The challenge when we define our success by material, money, media, or merit, is that there's no end. So me and my friend were talking about that the other day. It's like I'll succeed, be very successful, but all it took was me looking at somebody else who was doing better, and I immediately compared myself, and then I was like, Now, mind you, what I'm talking about, I believe in people being successful and winning at a high level when it comes to finances. Make sure you understand me. I'm not saying not to win, not to make a lot of money. But what I'm saying is that there's a way that you do that could be unhealthy, and there's a way that you can do that could be very healthy. I'm all about making money, right? But it's about putting it in the right perspective. Part of the conversation me and my friend had was at one point, he said, I felt like I lost that winning edge because so many people around him were trying to tell him that his competitive nature was like not good. And I don't know, maybe when he was winning at some point, it was unhealthy winning, and people saw that and they were like, you know what, you need to slow down. But he took that as I really need to just not, maybe I should just not go after it. Listen, man, as men and as children of God, we were built to create. We were built to have dominion. We were built to overcome. We were built to do things, build things. We were built with a competitive edge. So we need to embrace that. However, there is a way to make sure that that's done with a perspective so that you succeed in a healthy way. So it doesn't come at a cost. Again, we're going to define that. But, at one point in my life, I did all those things, man. I defined my success by my material stuff, by how many square feet my home was, by where I lived, right? Wanting to drop the name of the neighborhood I lived at or the place in town where I lived at, the type of car that I drove, and what I did for a living. And here's what I realized is that no matter how much money, no matter how much shine it was on social media, no matter how well I did in my business and career, none of that scratched the itch of fulfillment that I really wanted. And despite the fact I was winning in that area, career and business, no matter how much more I won, I really, big picture, was losing. And I really don't want to say losing, I was learning, right? But at the time, I was just winning in that one area. But big picture, I was losing a lot. I was losing my family. I was losing my faith. I was losing my fitness. So that's not a net profit. That equation, if I'm winning a little bit here, but I'm losing a lot here, I'm really by definition not winning. Right? Feeling defeated, feeling like this has just got to change. So obviously things over time have changed. Like, how do I now define success? What does winning mean to me? And I think there's three things that encompass winning and success for me. Those three things is that it's got to be selfless. And I'm going to break each of these down here in a second. It's got to be selfless. It's got to be service-based. And it's got to be simultaneously rewarding. Okay. And I'm going to break that down. When I think about success or winning, one of the first questions I ask is, what's the motivation? What's the motivation behind what I'm going after? And I suggest you ask the same question. What's the motivation? What's the intent? Why are you going after this thing? That's a big question. I want you to ask yourself that biggest goal you have right now that you're going after. Why are you doing it? Why are you going after your goal? Why? Why? See, oftentimes, or I should say, it is not unoften that the answer to that question can fall into one of three categories. It can fall into a selfish category, right? What would that sound like? Well, why are you going after this goal? Well, I just, I just want to succeed, or it's about me. I want to do it. I want to experience success. I deserve it. But it can be a selfish need. Like, I want the money. I want the glory. I want the merit. I want the material stuff. Or the answer to that question could be superficial, some of which I've already said. And when I say superficial, I mean trite, lacking depth. Why are you going after this goal? I just got to get this money, man. I'm trying to go on this, just trying to go on this trip. Nothing wrong with trips. Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong with vacation, right? But more depth is going to be required for a big vision and impact, right? But it may just be superficial. Like, man, I'm just trying to, just trying to ball, whatever the case may be. But sometimes when you answer that goal, it can be selfish, superficial, or it's trying to satisfy some untamed emotion. And for high achieving men, this is one of the biggest things that we suffer from and we don't realize. We glorify hashtag hustle, hashtag hustle, hashtag grind, hashtag hard work. And we're running so hard at something, running so hard to succeed at something, and maybe actively succeeding at something to try and soothe some underlying emotion of anger because somebody told you couldn't do it. And sometimes we celebrate that, like, oh man, yeah, like that's my motivating factor. You know what I'm saying? Like they told me I couldn't do it, so I got to prove my naysayers wrong. That's not healthy, right? Because at one point, when is it going to be enough to say, yeah, you proved them wrong, right? We don't want to build and succeed out of revenge, out of vengefulness. No, right? Sometimes there's just an underlying emotion of we need to feel validated. And we don't feel like we're important until we succeed at something. So therefore, I've got to win at this thing in order to feel good about myself. My identity will be defined based on my performance. So it's all good when you're winning, because when you're winning, you're a winner. But if you happen to fail, you now define yourself as a failure. And in order to get the feeling of success, and in order to get the feeling and scratch that itch that I am somebody, I got to go chase the next thing. Just like I need a hit. I need another hit of the drug. I need another hit of the success. I need it in order to make me feel better about me. So oftentimes we're chasing, right? We're trying to satisfy an untamed emotion. But to me, when I really think about success and how I define it, it means it's got to be selfless. It's got to be selfless. Um, it's difficult to run a business and be successful at it if it's just about you. See, it's been about the Dr. Ballard show. It's been about the Dr. Brad show oftentimes in the past, right? And it was all about me. It was all about I'm out here winning because I want it. I need it. I want to do it. I want to build it for me. But what I found is that when I can have the motivation, whether it's in my health, my wealth, or my relationships in terms of the goals that I'm building, and be able to answer this question, if I don't do the task, if I don't succeed at this, who suffers? Apart from me. See, when you can answer that question, like if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, or if I don't succeed at this thing, if I don't achieve this goal, who suffers? See, if I don't show up selflessly for my patients suffer. My clinic suffers, right? It's not all about me just building a practice, not all about me just building a business, but if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, who else suffers? My family may suffer because I'm not showing up like I need to in that capacity as a business owner, as a physician. If I don't work out, if I don't eat right, who suffers? Outside of me. See, I'm trying to give a good example to my children of what it looks like to be healthy. So it's not about me when I'm working out now, right? It may be about me a little bit. Yes, I'm not crazy. I mean, yes, we all want to, look, yeah, man, I want to look good. However, that's not deep enough to get me in the gym sometimes when I'm struggling to go. But when I ask myself that question, like, you talk about what's the motivation, like, and I think, man, who suffers if I don't do this workout? It's not just me giving an example to my wife what it looks like to be healthy. I'm giving an example to my children. I'm giving an example to you, other men, what it's like to be consistent. Not about me, right? Relationships, right? I got to show up. If I don't show up in the way that I need to as a husband, who suffers? My wife, my kids. They get a poor example of what a father looks like, or what a healthy relationship looks like. So we got to take it away from the answer of what's the motivation being selfish, superficial, and satisfying an untamed emotion to it being selfless and saying, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, if I don't achieve, who suffers? Who else suffers? You start answering that question, it's deep. Second thing is, okay, so first question I asked is, what's the motivation? Right? Broke that down. Second thing is, what's the direction? Okay, what's the direction? What I mean by that is many of us are trying to succeed so that we can be fulfilled. So, like I just mentioned, we're trying to succeed at something so that we can satisfy some emotion that hadn't been addressed. So we're saying if I can succeed at this thing, if I can make this money, if I can get in shape, then I will be fulfilled. So our fulfillment is contingent upon our success. And that's, I don't want to say the wrong direction, but trying to go from success to fulfill is not nearly as productive as being fulfilled as a precursor to success. Talked about this on other podcasts. The most healthy direction of how you want to experience success is not let me succeed at something so I can be fulfilled. Let me put it this way. The most healthy direction that you want to go in terms of being able to experience success is to be fulfilled first, to have your cup full emotionally, meaning I'm already good. I'm already fulfilled. Now that my cup is filled and I'm satisfied, right? I've already got the emotions. And by the way, we get fulfilled from our relationship with God, right? Because oftentimes we're trying to fill our cup with all the other stuff, the material, the merit, the media, the money, but it's not sustainable. But when I can get everything I need from my relationship with God, everything, my happiness, my joy, my excitement, my fulfillment, and now my cup is full, I can now fill the cups of others without a problem. So first, the direction is we must become satisfied. Become satisfied first, fulfilled by the living water, the bread of life, perpetual fulfillment. Now I'm good. Like I'm straight. I'm satisfied. Now because I'm satisfied, I can serve. That's the next step in the direction. I'm satisfied. Now I can serve. That means when I show up in my relationship with my wife, I'm not looking for her to fill my cup. I'm not looking for her to fill my cup. I'm not looking for her to fulfill some desire that should have been taken care of in my relationship with God. So now I can serve her and say, how can I help you? I'm not looking for her at the end of the day. She's had a long day to try to help me, but I can serve her. Okay, follow me. In my business, I'm good. So now I can serve you, my patient, my client. I can serve you because I'm good. I don't necessarily need something from you. Matter of fact, I don't even need you to get better to make me feel good. I just want you to get better. My assistant, right? I want to serve her, right? I want to help her be a better person, better assistant in the clinic, right? So now I'm serving in the capacity at work, right? I'm serving in my health, like I mentioned before. I want to serve as a good example of a father and somebody who has good fitness habits to my family, to my friends. You know, I've been posting on my Insta stories my workouts to give people motivation to say, hey, look, I'm working out. This is what it looks like. I'm not doing that for me. I'm at my workout. Okay? I'm doing it so that other people can see what it looks like. Now, here's the deal. When you serve, you succeed. So the most healthy direction is I get satisfied so that I can serve, so that I can succeed. The more you serve, the more you will succeed. The higher quality and quantity with which you serve others in your relationship with your spouse, children, in your interaction with your patients and colleagues, the more people you serve, the more you succeed. Success is directly hinged upon success. Success is directly hinged upon service. And you can serve at your best when you're satisfied. That's the direction. Okay? We don't want to try to be fulfilled so that we can succeed. We don't want to try to succeed so that we can be fulfilled. We want to be fulfilled and satisfied first so that we can then serve and then succeed. Last question I often ask is, what's the subtraction? So we got the motivation, the direction, subtraction, meaning what is this going to cost? What does this cost me? Because like I said before, if I'm winning in one area, but it's costing me something significant on the other end, I don't know if that's really winning. But see, when you come from the direction I just described, meaning I'm satisfied, I'm good, and I'm coming to serve you, well, we both win because I served you and helped you with your need. I succeeded as a result of serving you at a high level, and now you got served. You got served. You got helped, right? Value was provided for you. That's mutually beneficial. Right? My success didn't come at the cost of the relationship or taking advantage of you. It was simultaneously rewarding. Simultaneously rewarding. So for me to answer the question is, what is winning? What does success look like? What does winning mean to me? It means that when when you show up in a way that's selfless, absolutely selfless, as best as you possibly can. Now, listen, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I'm not saying every single time I show up selfless, but it's a goal of mine to show up selfless so that when I sit down with anybody, I can say, you know what, my cup is full. I'm straight. I'm good. Right? I've spent my time consistently daily with God to where I've come to understand, like, I'm good. Right? I don't need something from this interaction from you. I'm coming sitting down in every capacity I possibly can in any relationship, whether it's business or personal. I'm thinking, how can I serve you? Because I'm good. Right? So part of winning is that it's that selfless. Second part is the service, serving someone. And see, here's what I know. If I do those things, that automatically leads to winning, automatically leads to success. And if I do that, it will be simultaneously rewarding for me and the other person that's involved. Okay. So it's for me, that goal, that the achievement of the goal has to come with selfless service that is simultaneously rewarding. And I want you to imagine what this looks like. I want you to imagine being able to live a life of service, of this service mindset, of this service mentality. Like, I simply want to serve. Man, I can tell you, it's more rewarding than you can even begin to imagine. Particularly when you can come to that table saying, I'm straight, like I'm good, like I'm for real good. That is going to require you to prioritize that time with God, right? We talk about another podcast, prayer, pondering the word, personal development, so that you can understand that emotionally you good. You don't need anything else. You don't need a win like a hit of a drug. You already winning. You done already won. You here to serve. And I'm telling you, it will accelerate your success. How do you define success? After listening to this podcast, how do you define it now? Are you currently succeeding and winning in the way that we just defined it? If not, listen, that's the beauty. We became self-aware now, and we can begin to say, let me start to get satisfied and fulfilled, get my cup full with my relationship with God, and watch what happens in terms of what that stems like into the rest of my life and my health, my wealth, and my relationships. I want you to imagine for real, what this looks like of not even, not having to worry, right? Not having to worry, knowing that you're already good. It will accelerate your finances. It can accelerate your fulfillment. Obviously, it's going to accelerate your faith because you're spending time with God. And it can accelerate your fitness because it's selfless, it's service-based, and it's simultaneous rewarding. All right, fellas, listen. Hope this has been nothing but a blessing for you. Again, make sure you share this information with somebody else. This stuff is massive. Okay, it's massive. So I'll see you guys next week, helping you guys go from excellent to elite. See you guys then.